All right, good morning. We're trying something new this morning. Things are a little different here. For one, I have a whole new temporary monitor setup. I ordered a new monitor and some monitor arms so that the screens can kind of float around and move. And one of the things that I'm trying to accomplish is to have two monitors that sit like this, and then in the gap between them, I want to have the camera and the microphone and everything sitting right there. So when I'm looking at the screen and when I'm talking to stuff, it looks like I'm looking right into the camera even though I'm looking at the screen. But the screen that I ordered, they sent me the wrong one. It arrived on Saturday. They sent me the wrong one, and it doesn't have the VESA mounting holes on the back. So I can't use it. So the monitor that I had in here normally also didn't have VESA mounting. I gave that to my son, and he's using it in his room on his desk. And so, in a scramble, I kind of had to figure out how to make it work temporarily. And so I have a much smaller monitor here in front of me today, and it's not bright, and it's not nearly as good as what I had before, but we will be getting a new monitor on Thursday. So we're going to do our best to make this work for now, and then hopefully by Friday, we'll have the right setup with this monitor's just dim. It's hard to see. I don't know what this looks like for all of you, but one of the things that I need to do is open up a browser. So let's not get rid of that one. Let's get rid of this one. Twitch. And do some moderated chat. Well, it looks better there. It just looks so dim on the screen I'm seeing, but I'm sure that's more a result of yeah, I'm not feeling this camera angle entirely. There's wires and stuff showing that I don't like. I'm gonna have to work on this. Like if we tilt this way, just to cut off that little piece right there, then we need to zoom in a little. Yeah, maybe that'll work. Maybe that will do. You can also see that I've got some new lights right over here. We'll have to figure out how to talk about those or when or whatever, but those are not working yet. Man, there's so much going on. So much time spent trying to reorganize this room and restructure and reorganize and get this setup working right. I don't even know how this second monitor setup thing is going to work, but we'll see. All right, well, with that being said, let's write some code today. That's kind of what I'm here for. Bring this down a little bit. There we go. Nice little seat. Oh yeah, this is it. This is where it's at. Okay. So let's get over here to this, and we'll do that, and hopefully everything looks good. Hey, Rick Bosch. Good morning. LJ. Hello, hello. I just noticed that my leaderboard is not running. I only have it here running locally. I haven't published it to the web yet. So let me get that up and running so that the leaderboard is here. How about them Browns, LJ? You're darn right about that. Fantastic weekend of football. I don't get a lot of those. If you guys didn't hear, the Browns have had a losing record for 84 straight games. 84 straight games. Is that what I want? I don't know if that's what I want. We're going to see here in a second. That is, in fact, not what I wanted. Let's see. How do I get this thing started? I'm trying... I know you guys can't see this, but I'm trying to figure out how I did this before. I think I need to go to, like... And in here I say npm run start. I think this is it. See if this actually does what I need it to do. But it's doing nothing. That's convenient. Starting the development server. That's great. Oh my gosh, I think this is going to work. Let's see. Why it's running so slowly. There we go. Let's see if I can fix this. Where's the leaderboard? There we go. We have a leaderboard. All right, that feels better. I like when things work. That's always good. We can make this a little bigger. So good morning, Rick. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you were able to find our channel and hang out. If you haven't been here before, and it seems like maybe you have, we have a little bit of a casino running here in the Chatbot. It's obviously just for free and for fun, but that's what we're working on, is building a casino chatbot that also runs on Alexa and Discord and Slack and all sorts of stuff. And so we're still in the process of building the casino engine, but my v0.1 of the chatbot casino is running here on Twitch, and you can see the commands there right below the leaderboard. You can say things like !balance or !poker, and then an amount you want to wager. But just having been here, just having posted in the chat, you probably have at least 100 credits, 100 coins, and you can earn more by posting more messages in the chat. So if you just say hello or hi, or even just check your balance, you will see that you in fact have, you earn a coin for every single time that you, oh, you know what? I lied to you. The chatbot only works when this machine is running. And that machine is off right now. So give me one moment, and then your balance will be reflected. Karthik, I did not see a raid, but good morning. We're in the process right now of trying to get everything set back up. I have a new, a slightly new camera angle. I have a different monitor I'm using. Like, there's a lot that has changed here over the last weekend. And we'll get to a point where everything works. Okay, this machine. I really need to deploy some of this stuff to the cloud rather than running it locally, but this will work for now. Okay. Yeah, all those Chatsino riches are being put to good use for sure. For sure. Okay, as soon as this machine's back up, I'll get the casino running, Rick, but we'll get that rolling. You can try some of the games because they're pretty fun. In the meantime, I have a list of things that I want to do. But the thing that we need to start with is this first item on my list. Change the invalid wager cases to handle all of the new options. This is for the Alexa skill. So on Thursday, we changed a bunch of things to add minimum and maximum bets, and I can show how that works. If we go to is valid wager, in here we have these ranges now that look like these. And I'm checking to see if the wager you make is below or above your minimum or maximum bet. And so the trick with this is, depending on how many coins you possess, there is a minimum and a maximum that you're allowed to bet on any individual game. This is for individual bets, though. We still have one more step that I need to look at, which is, okay, so you have a maximum of 50 coins, but that's per bet. But you could go in and bet 50 on red, and then 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 50 on red. And so that too would cause an issue. And so I don't want people betting thousands and thousands of dollars at once when they only have $1,000. We want to keep them on some guardrails. And so if you have less than 20,000, you have a minimum bet of 5 and a maximum bet of 100, I think, or 50. And so those minimum bet and maximum bets are being enforced, but I'm not telling the Alexa user why it's. In fact, it'll break right now because I'm not handling that message at all. Come on, machine. So while we're waiting for this machine to boot up, let's take a look at what we can do with this. Karthik, I'm glad to hear you had an awesome stream, man. That's super cool. Okay, so let's go back to my to-do list. Let's close everything else. It's all a distraction right now. And let's go look at the Alexa stuff. So my handlers for a bunch of stuff, and I think I probably need to unify a lot of this. So let's look at the start ones first. So we'll start with start slots. That's the simplest game. So if we look at start slots, all we do in here is we say, okay, play a game of slots, and then tell me what the result is. And the result right now can be completed, insufficient funds, or invalid wager. And insufficient funds never got used. But invalid wager is something that it just says, oh, I'm sorry, your wager is invalid. But I don't tell them why. So we fix this. And if we go open that is valid wager file again, we can see what kind of messages we're passing back. So now we have things like you placed a negative bet, or you bet above your available balance. So you have insufficient funds. That's going to be our new insufficient funds. Are we ready? Oh, yeah, okay. So let's go find... I don't need all this stuff. Wow. Okay, now nothing wants to respond. This is really fun this morning. Take care, Karthik. Have a good dinner. We will see you soon. Oh, this needs to be fixed too. If we're gonna do this, let's do this right. This needs a different font. Let's use the font we're using for everything. No, I think we need to have one bot at a time, team view. All right. Okay. The casino is now open. Everything is running. This screen is so dim, and I don't see a way to set the brightness, and it's annoying me. Okay. That should still work. There we go. Casino is open and running, so Nick, if you want to give that a try now, there you go. You have 100 coins. Like I said, that's what you start with. And so, Nick, every time you post a message, or I'm not Rick, not Nick, Rick. Rick, when you every time you post a message, if you check your balance again, you'll probably have 103 now, or 102. So, you get one every time you post a message in chat, but you can also wager them by using those commands that you see there under the leaderboard. So there you go. Okay, so I am now working on bet above available balance. That's the thing that we want to do right now. And I want to be able to use these commands to actually provide information back to my users. So if we come back to start slots, no, why? I wish I knew why that happened. I've got to spend some time figuring that out. If we go back to is valid wager, if I drag it up here, it'll be fine. But, okay, that's so annoying. Okay, so what I really need is some new commands. And another thing that I've really been struggling with is I think that I want to be able to build these as kind of unified commands. Like instead of having to write this text and do this for each individual game, I should just have a place that I do that. And I don't know if helper's probably not the place for that. Where do I want to do this? I do have a data here. Well, let's just do it, and we'll deal with the pain of that later. So, where did my handlers go? Okay. See, we did it again. We're opening files on top of files. I don't know why anyone would ever want that. Okay. So let's build some new cases. And our first case is going to be bet above available balance. So this is when they don't have enough money to do this. So this is really like our insufficient funds. So we can do this here. And we can say, I guess, yeah, we would want to prompt them for a new wager. So let's just take this and see how this is going to work here. So we're going to say, I'm going to ask them for their wager again, and I'm going to say, your wager was higher than your current balance, which is you can bet any amount up to your balance. How much? We'll call it available. They can't all be winners, Rick, but you're getting the idea, man. I enjoy the poker and the slots more, but roulette is the roulette version we have here. It's one bet and spin, where obviously that's not how roulette normally works. The version that we have here in the chatbot does in fact work on a turn-based thing. So you can say bet 10 on red and 10 on odd and whatever. Good morning, Corey Haynes. So bet above available balance is good. So now we need to handle the other cases. The other cases are below minimum limit, and these are new cases. So let's say case below minimum limit. And this is going to be how do I want to do this? Good morning, Gold Zulu. How do I really want to handle this? If you have a minimum bet of 5, let's say. Now, as a beginner, anybody that's got less than 20,000 coins, the minimum bet is 1, so they won't encounter this early. But if you have a lot of money, like some do here in this chat room, Mr. Smoofy is a good example of that. You have a minimum bet, and so if you bet less than the minimum, I need to say, oh, actually, your minimum bet is 5 or 50 or whatever. Should I? Here's a question for those of you in the chat. This will help me guide my decision here. I have a couple of options. My first option is just to say, and this is probably the easiest. Your bet is below the minimum bet. Please place another bet, right? Like that's pretty easy to do. The second option is you bet less than the minimum bet. Would you like me to make the minimum bet your minimum bet for you? But that heads me down a whole path of yes and no questions that I don't really want to have. Let's see. I think we're just going to push them back and say, you need to prefer to automatically set the minimum bet. Just put the message out there. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, Corey. My thought on this is, if I say, I'm sorry, your minimum bet is 5 and you bet 2. Please, how much would you like to bet? I can. Let's just do that. And then my option in the future is if you bet 2, I could just force you to bet 5. Right? So you said bet 2, but I'm just going to force you to do the minimum. But the problem with that is that if they didn't want to bet 5, then I've kind of just stolen their money, their fake currency. So that doesn't feel very fair. And if I ask for their opinion, would you prefer to just place the minimum wager, which is 5, then now I've got to build a whole new set of handlers for yes and no on whether or not they want to do that, which I don't really want to do. So, okay, yeah, I think Corey has the right answer, which is just tell them that their bet is below the minimum and that they need to try again, basically. Okay, so your wager was below the minimum bet. I'm going to have to tell them what their minimum bet is. Oh, and I missed a whole spot shaving. I can feel it right here. That's annoying. I'm going to have to deal with that later. So that means we should pass that back every time. I keep making this more and more complex, but I'm going to need to know what those numbers are. And I have a way to do it right here. I just have to make this more useful. So we need to return an object here, like this, and then we could say, yeah, Catal, I think I might have to change the font. I like the font, but I agree it would be nice to have something that is uniform, so you guys can compare them. That's actually pretty easy to do. I can change that here in a little bit. Let me think about changing this object first. So we're going to have is below is false. And then we'll take min bet to be, for this range, it's goodness. This just got a lot more complex. Let's think. I want to be able to pass back what your minimum and maximum bet are. I have how could we do this? Okay, so let's back this up for a second. Keep it working. Okay, that's all working. I think we're going to build a new function in here and rethink our ranges. So we're going to have a get wager range. Probably should call that a function. And for here, we're just going to pass in their balance. This feels pretty good so far. So what I'm going to do is say, this might actually simplify some things. If balance is less than 20,000, then we're going to return minimum wager. No, I'll just do minimum. Minimum is 1. Maximum is 50. I think that's what it is. Why did I say greater than or equal to 0? It's got to be greater than or equal to 1. Your wager can't be less than 0. Glad I just found that. Man, okay. I didn't check and see what happens if someone bets 0. So 1 and 50. Then we can just take these things and modify them a little bit, and then we can really simplify our function calls there. So if balance is greater than, yes, I don't need this wager part. And this just lets us return this object that has a minimum. This is going to be 5. Maximum is going to be 100. Just take the rest of these. Get rid of the wager part for each of them. Yeah, I think this will actually simplify how we're handling all this, and it'll give me the opportunity to pass the data that I want. So take this. Instead of returning false, we're going to return this, and it's going to be 10,500. And if I expose this function, I could call it all the time, but I don't really want to do that. I just want to say, is it a valid wager, and have it return all the data for me. I shouldn't need to expose this specific. So this is 25 and 1,000. And then this one is going to be 55,000. This one's going to be 110,000. And then this one's going to be 50,000. Okay. So this now returns an object that is returning us our minimum and maximum. I feel like we can just do a new function here. This will be much simpler. Is outside wager range. Okay, and so in here, we should be able to say if we could do, let's do, this is range equals get, what do I call that? Get wager range, cool. And our balance is passed through. Then we can say if wager is less than range dot minimum, then we're going to return this new object . Yeah, Kevin. Lurking is fine. I'm glad you're here. Get your work done, though. That's always more important. Status is this. I need to pass the minimums. If I could type. The minimum is, on this one is range.minimum. And the maximum is range.maximum. And we could even do the is valid part. Is valid false. And then up here, I think we can get rid of all of this. I'm going to comment it out for a moment, but I feel like my call to this can just be return. No, I can't just do that. If, yeah, I'm going to have to do an if on it, because otherwise it's a valid wager. I don't want to. Although I suppose I. Is the volume low? It could be low. Let me check. What does everybody else think about the volume? I'm talking louder now that he said that, but where's our volume here? Yeah, it does look a little low. Let me crank that up a little bit. Boy, I wonder why it's so low. Let's see if we can toy with some things here. Is that any better? I'm also closer to the mic. Is this better? Is that louder? Okay. No distortion or anything? It still sounds good? Okay, cool. Thank you for the feedback, guys. That's always helpful. Okay. So what I really want to do here is I have a decision to make. I could just return this. Maybe that's the thing. maybe this will be the last thing that I check. And so in here, I could just return this as the last option. Good. I'm glad. Okay. So here I could just say return is outside wager range, balance wager. And then this is just my final check. So I have this, and then I have the maximum limit, which is above maximum. Wow, okay. Can tell I didn't type all weekend. Minimum, maximum, or patch back. And then if neither of those are true, and I don't really want an if here, I want an else. If neither of those are true, then we return valid wager. I don't love this implementation. But my other option is to check a property of the return value from is outside wager range, and then if it's false, return, like, then I have to call the function again. I guess I don't have to do that. I could do if is outside wager range, balance wager dot is valid. Yeah, this is the thing I don't want to do, is this. So what we could do is grab this and set this to a variable, const something like this. I get the whole thing once. Then I say if wager range status dot is valid. And I want a not on this. So if it's not true, then we're going to return wager range status. I don't love that. It feels like it could be one line of code, but I feel like okay, we're going to comment this out, and this is going to be our implementation for now. So we're just going to call this and return this as our last option. And so we're either going to return below minimum, above maximum, or valid wager. But it'll always be one of those three, and I feel like I could also, even on the valid wager, there's no reason not to send this. That way the bot has that information. All right, let's go check our tests. I know I have a couple that are brokey, but I'm very interested in the cashier.isValidWager tests. Yeah, no, that's a good call, Corey. Check wager range. Yeah, you're right. I mean, my initial intention is just to return a Boolean, but there's just additional data that I need. Because if it's false, I also then need to know what the minimum maximum is. If it's true, technically I don't need anything, because I'm just going to forge forward for you. But if it's false, I need to be able to tell you why it's false. All right. I like that. I like that renaming. Okay. So these two functions aren't being used anymore. I can get rid of these. So Rick, that's a good question. It technically could be held as part of the user's context. The problem is that it changes bet by bet, and so I can either just check it every time that they try to make a wager, or I can save it as the user's context, and then every time anything happens, I have to modify that value. And so it feels cleaner, simpler, because the only time I care about it is when you make a wager. It feels simpler to be able to do this only when the user's making a wager, at the time that I really care, than to hold it in context and have to be able to constantly be modifying and changing it everywhere just to make sure that my calculations are right. So that's the reason that I'm doing it here, rather than as part of my context. It was definitely a consideration of mine when I was looking at Airtable. I did some baseball card work this weekend, so you're gonna see a lot of old tabs of that. But if we go look at our data, one of the other things that you'll see here is if I look at user, is that I have a couple of balances for them, right? I have their balance. I have any wagers they've currently made that are not resolved. So these are things like you bet 10 on red, but you never spun the wheel, or you bet 10 on hard 6, but you've never thrown the dice. Those are bets that are just sitting on a table somewhere. And then I have to have this third balance, which is your available balance, which is just a calculation between the two. And so in here, I definitely gave thought to like just having columns for the user's minimum and maximum bets. But it felt like a ton of work to go through and basically constantly modify that, because especially as they have balances that teeter between two ranges, right? If they're above or below 20,000 coins, I don't want to have to constantly flip that back and forth. So, okay, let's go just do tests for one thing. Wow, didn't do a lot of typing this weekend. I think we're in the right place now. Yeah. It looked like the test failed a second ago, so I want to see. I think I flipped my Boolean in my logic. Nope, I just didn't finish writing this. This is just a typo. Let's see if that fixes the tests. Balance is not defined. Well, that's tricky. Oh, because you're right. Wager, I need this. Duh. Okay. Still failing. the 250,000 range should be 50 to 5,000. So is my tests that were broken? That's always good to know when you wrote bad tests. Let's look at that one specifically. User bets 49. User bets 49 with a balance. I'm expecting it to be false, but it's returning true. So let's look at this. Check wager range. User.fields.available balance is being passed in. If the wager is less than the range minimum, then we're returning false. Typo. Sometimes you guys catch those for me. So I think it was the typo. Let's see if that solves it. Yeah, if you don't name your properties appropriately, turns out it won't work. So I had minimum spelled with 3 I's instead of a U. Not sure why. And so it was getting to the third case, which is valid. So our code was working. It just had the property misspelled. Mistyped. Okay. So our ranges are now working, and we're passing back the minimum maximum. So now as we come back to this. By the way, this is why I'm building the chatbot with Alexa first. Is I want the ability to think through all of these little weird cases, right? It's easy enough to build the bot, but until I'm returning all the values that I need and being able to write all these kinds of statements, you don't have enough information to be able to share. So as I look at start slots, we also need to look at what we're returning here. So if I call chatsino.slots.play, what we return, let's see, we call, if it's an invalid wager, if it's not, we're not returning this anymore. Because this is saying is valid wager cashier.isValidWager is valid. If it's false, we come down here and we're just saying invalid wager. That's no good. So what we need to do is change this to be I call it over here. Yeah, this isn't really a Boolean value either anymore. We'll say that, and then we can say here, we can say check wager That is valid. And then down here, where we return a value, we should be able to say this will be check wager dot status, and then we can say minimum check wager dot minimum and maximum check wager dot max. Okay. Greetings, Mr. Smoofy. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Okay, so now if we have an is invalid wager, we're switching on the status below minimum and bet above available balance. We're also going to need above maximum, so this will be above maximum. And your wager was above the maximum bet. And this is going to be your wager was above the maximum bet, which for someone with this is going to be result dot maximum. How much would you like to bet on slots? And we just reprompt them right there for exactly how much they need. So, okay, so that's, your wager was above the maximum bet. Your wager was below the minimum bet, which for someone with that many coins is result.maximum. You can bet any amount up to your available balance. How much would you like to bet on slots? And then for bet above available balance, your wager was higher than your current balance, which is this. You can bet any amount up to your available balance. How much would you like to bet on slots? Invalid wager is now not a thing. And valid wager carries forward. So if I, in this one, if it's a valid wager for slots, then we just play the game. Because you put your coins in, pull the handle, you're good. There's no holding a bet in slots. So that just forges forward. That's great. Should we give this a run? Should we try it? I also need to fix my questioning here. This one doesn't end in a question. What do you want to play next? Now that we've done that, we can get rid of this. We'll just do it for both. Okay. Okay, that feels all right. Alright, next game, poker. This is a little more complicated. Let's close the things that we're not using. Well, no, I got to do this right. Let's come back. Let's do an npm run dev. Let's actually get the skill up and running, and we'll come over to our browser. Crack it open. No, let's refresh. All right, let's do it. Please work. Awesome.
Welcome to the Chatsino. You currently have 2,002 coins available. What would you like to do?
I would like to bet 5 on slots.
Yowza! You got cherries,
Nice.
cherries, orange. You won 25 coins.
But wow, thank you for the follow. And you just made me realize that my alert box, wherever that is, my alert box needs to move up in the layering of everything we've got going on back there. So Bawath, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Where did my alert box go? Almost there. Moving it up a little higher. And there we go. Okay. So now the alert blocks will actually show up on top of everything. TeamView, yes, I did use TMI.js for this Chatsino, and so that's what I'll be using again when we rebuild the Twitch bot. It's really simple and easy to use. It gives me a lot of interesting information, and it lets me build things like allowing you to cash in your channel points to become casino coins. So just watching the channel will also be a way. How do I make a command to repeat your message? I don't know what that means. What do you mean repeat a message? Our test worked. So playing... Oh, no, it actually didn't work. We need to try one more thing, which is bet 51 on slots.
Your wager was above the maximum bet, which, for someone with 2029 coins, is 50. How much would you like to bet on slots?
Okay, I need to find a place where I'm already doing that. I think like launch request does it properly. You currently have this. I just need to tell her to say the number the way I want her to. So let's wrap up some balances in the start slots intent. I should put this around every time that I say an amount. I should put this here. Okay. You lost. All right. The wager was above the maximum wedge, which for someone with this much money is $250. TeamViewer, I'm not an expert at all in TMI.js. I don't remember the syntax that I use for that, but I know that they have some really good documentation, which is where I would go to have to answer your question. So I would recommend checking that out. Okay, and then result.maximum. So I need to add a note for myself in the to-do. That I need to do this everywhere that I'm talking about money. Because as the balances get bigger, I want her to say the numbers properly. And that looks good now. Let's try that again. Bet 51 on slots.
Your wager was above the maximum bet, which, for someone with 2,030 coins, is 50. How much would you like to bet on slots?
I don't like that phrasing. Your wager was above the maximum bet of 50. Now, yeah, we're going to change that phrasing. Your wager was above the maximum bet of result dot, why isn't that working? Result dot maximum. So above your maximum bet of 50 coins. Your balance is this. So you can make bets between minimum and maximum. And I did it again. Maximum. How much would you like to bet on slots? Let's see how that sounds.
Your wager was above your maximum bet of 50 coins. Your balance is 2,031 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How much would you like to bet on slots?
Okay, I think that sounds better. That explains it better. Your wager was above the maximum bet of 50 coins. Your balance is 2,031, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How much would you like to bet on slots? And then we just, yeah, I think that sounds clearer, and it gives them a very clear definition about what's going on. So let's take that. And do that. Ooh, I broke it. Okay, your wager was below. Yes, it does imply that. How much would you like to bet on slots? Correct. And the proper response should be a number. bet 51.
Your wager was above your maximum bet of 50 coins. Your balance is 2,032 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How much would you like to bet on slots?
Okay, I need to go write a test for 0 because that just failed. So let's do a little bit of that, and then let's go look at our. I don't even have my tests open anymore. User bets 0. Set user balance to 100. I want their bet to be 0. And this should be below minimum limit. What does it do for 0? If wager is less than or equal to 0, it returns negative bet. Oh, I don't have a response for that. That's the issue. I could probably get rid of that, though. Because now I don't care that it's negative. I just care that it's less than the range. I think we can just get rid of that. I'm gonna comment it out, but I feel like I don't need negative bet anymore, because if I've identified that you've given me a number, now that I have ranges, if it's not within the range, it doesn't matter if it's negative or not. What matters to me is that you're within your range, and there's no range that includes negative numbers, so we should be covered. Okay. All right, let's do this real quick. This is the simplest solution to my node problem. And let's do npm run, npm, no, go away. npm run dev. Okay, and then bet 0 on slots. What are you gonna do this time?
Your wager was below your minimum bet of 1 coins. Your balance is 2,034 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How much would you like to bet on slots?
I could get rid of the word coins, and then I'll have to worry about pluralization. Okay, so bet 0.
Your wager was below your minimum bet of 1. Your balance is 2,035 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How much would you like to bet on slots?
And the last thing that I want to change here is, instead of how many, I want to say, or how much, how many coins okay. I feel like we've got a solid beginning to good responses for our wagers. So now, if we come into start poker intent, let's look at what. Yes. Corey, the way that I'm structuring this, that's a really good question, is no, you don't have to say the whole command again. So you can see that right here, for these things, the first thing that I do, I have two commands. I have the what I want to say, but I also have this thing here that says elicit slot. So what I'm basically doing is telling Lady A that I am expecting the user to just give me their wager again. So I'm actually, this is called eliciting it. And I'm saying, hey, I'm telling them right now to tell me what number they want. So expect that they're just going to give a number, but everything else, all the scope and context that we had, keep that in place. I know what game they want to play. I know everything else. All I want to know is what is their wager. So when you come back at me the next time, when they say 25, I want you to give me everything. Give me the game they want. Give me the everything. But basically just fill in the hole that is wager. So yeah, that's what the eliciting slot does. Now, if I don't put that, then it won't do that, and it's just going to let it go and have some kind of, it's going to expect a full command. So if the user were to say 25 to the skill normally, when I'm not eliciting a slot, let's do bet 5 on slots and get us out of this loop. But I win.
Righto.
Nice.
You got cherries. Orange, orange. You won 15 coins.
So now if I were to say something like 25, I don't actually know what happens if they just say 25.
Righto. You got cherries. Orange, orange. You won 15 coins.
That's weird. It didn't give me any input-output, so I feel like it thinks I'm hitting the repeat. If I get the same outcome too, right? Is it the same outcome every time? No, it just doesn't know what to do with 25. That's weird.
Arg. You got diamond, cherries, orange. That is not a winning spin. You lost 5 coins. What do you want to play next?
Okay, so I think we've got the foundational work done here. So what I should be able to do is take these 3 cases and copy them. And when I go to start poker intent, replace invalid wager with these. Oh, but I'm going to have to fix the logic for poker. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do, actually. So poker now, poker play, we're doing the is valid wager is valid. And what we did for slots, we changed that up a little bit, right? That goes in here. So we're checking our wager, getting whether or not it's valid, but if it's not valid, then we're doing this thing down here. Let's bump everything back. And so on these cases, if we look at how we did slots play, we just added some things to this. So I think I can just take this statement, drop it like this, and now we're getting all of those statuses. So this might be enough. Boy, this would be great if it's this fast. Completed doesn't exist anymore because we don't complete a bet when we're starting a game of poker. Except for slots, all of the games are, the wager is separate from the beginning of the game. You have to make a second command to like start the game. So with this one, you bet your 5, and then it goes, okay, here's your first 5 cards. But you have an opportunity to do something else before the game is over. Boy, this would be amazing if it just works. Okay, let's take a look. Bet 5 on poker still works, right?
You were dealt ace of clubs, 10 of clubs, 6 of diamonds, 4 of hearts, and 2 of spades. Which cards do you want to hold?
Let's deal those cards, make sure everything's still working. 5 new cards. Ooh, I won.
Way to go! You won 10 coins with a 2 pair. Your new balance is 20.59. Your final hand was ace of spades, ace of hearts, 3 of diamonds, 2 of hearts, and 2 of diamonds. What do you want to do next?
Poker deal at 10. That needed some punctuation. Okay, that's fine. That's not the problem we're trying to solve, though. So what if I say bet 51 on poker?
Your wager was above your maximum bet of 50. Your balance is 2,060 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How many coins would you like to bet on slots?
Gotta fix that. How many coins would you like to bet on poker? Video poker. Okay, one more try. Bet 51.
Your wager was above your maximum bet of 50. Your balance is 2,061 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How many coins would you like to bet on video poker? Your wager was below your minimum bet of 1. Your balance is 2,062 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How many coins would you like to bet on video poker?
Wow, that worked. And then, of course, if we say bet 5 on poker, that we just saw that works.
You were dealt jack of clubs, 8 of spades, 6 of diamonds. Blast! You didn't win. You lost 5 coins. Your new balance is 20.59. Your final hand was queen of spades, jack of spades, 10 of spades,
Okay.
7 of clubs, and 2 of hearts. What do you want to do next?
57 billion is right locked in. It's a lot of coins. Well, that was easy. So now let's do roulette. We should be able to do the same thing. Go to the poker, take these 3 new cases. Go to roulette, take the invalid wager one out. And put those in. And I also have some new information here that I really need. So if we go look at the roulette play, it's up here higher. DAC poker roulette wager. We need to do the little switcheroo on the beginning of this. Wager. And then what do I return over here? I have user wager position and then that other stuff. So I need to look at what that other stuff is, because I pass back position also. So we'll just grab the other stuff and replace this with it. Okay. And then I can use that position value to say your wager was above your maximum bet, whatever, with the same thing we always say. You can make bets between minimum and maximum. How many coins would you like to bet on? And now I can just say their position, because position is a thing. So I could say something like result.position. This also lets the user know that I have heard their position, and I've confirmed that that's what they want. How many coins would you like to bet on that? How many coins would you like to bet on red or odd or whatever? I don't think I can just do result.position, right? It's... dot symbol. Is that actually what we pass back? The position, position, position. If it's not a valid position, we'll push back and say, hey, that's not a valid position, but we check the wager first. Well, I guess we could change the order of those, because now that matters if I want to use this position. It doesn't really matter. If you don't have a valid position, it doesn't matter if you have a valid wager and vice versa. So let's check position first. And then this is my else for that. And then inside here I can say if that, and then all of this goes inside there. And then this is my else case for when there's an invalid wager. Which goes here. Now I will stop them at the door if they give me an invalid position first. And if they give me an invalid wager, then I've already verified that their position is valid, so I should feel very comfortable responding to them with that. So this should be okay now. This state also doesn't exist for making a wager on roulette. We don't have a completed state. Those messages look good. Above, below, and bet. So let's go see what roulette does. Bet 10 on red.
You wagered 10 coins on red. What would you like to do next? You can place another bet, or you can say spin the wheel when you're ready. Your wager was below your minimum bet of 1.
Nice.
Your balance is 2,051 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How many coins would you like to bet on black?
And if I say 12, that should just work. When I type 12, that's probably not going to work.
You wagered 12 coins on black. What would you like to do next? You can place another bet, or you can say spin the wheel when you're ready.
What happens if I say, what are my bets? Did I build this yet?
You currently have 52 coins in play.
Nice.
In roulette, you have 10 coins bet on 6. 10 coins bet on call _3. 5 coins bet on black. 10 coins bet on red. 12 coins bet on black. What do you want to play next?
Okay, I need to fix that. So what are my bets? What intent is that? What are my bets? Bet summary intent. Let's go fix how we refer to those with the bet summary intent. That's going to annoy me. Is that really what I'm storing in the database? Call 3. Okay, I guess I can live with that. I'll just have to do a little lookup. Do I have access to... I do, okay. So I should be able to say here... just sort of sounds like mumbling, really? Is it me that... Is it that I'm actually mumbling? It could be that I'm actually just mumbling. Corey, let me know if it's still mumbling. I think I might just be mumbling. That's very possible. Okay, it sounds pretty okay. All right, I'm going to have to be more specific, or maybe I find a way to get the microphone closer to my face. Let's see if we can go like, right there. Yeah, no, I was talking down here and I was like, well, this is stupid, and I just don't know what I need to talk up and I need to look up and speak forward, and that's fine. Thank you for the feedback. Okay. We are coming along. We need to next fix this position thing. They're green. They are green, sir. But I appreciate what you're saying. Okay. So I have this position, and I need to get the actual name of that. So I should be able to do const position name equals eval. And we should be able to say chatsino dot roulette dot position dot whatever this is. Actually, we need all of this. And this should be valid, so then I should be able to say position name dot symbol. Okay. Let's see if that sounds any better. I didn't really like how that read out the first time. What are my bets? Or error. We could get error too.
Jeff,
Yeah.
there was an error. What should we do
such
now?
A surprise. Okay. What did I type wrong? I kind of made that thing up on the fly. Oh, it's just a typo. Chat. Sino. I like typos. Typos are easy. Let's try that again.
You currently have 52 coins in play. In roulette, you have 10 coins bet on 6. 10 coins bet on column 3. 5 coins bet on black. 10 coins bet on red. 12 coins bet on black. What do you want to play next?
Well, that worked. All right, last stop is craps, and then we can be done for today. This is huge. So we need to go to start craps. And again, we have these invalid wager. I'm probably going to have to switch my position logic too, and that's okay. So we also need the craps logic, which is up here somewhere. Craps. Wager. Scott Gowell with a subscription. My goodness, Scott, thank you. Much appreciated. So is valid wager, and then is valid position is way down here? Why? So why am I doing this inside here? Or before the position exists? Oh, because I see. Okay. Well, we'll have to do this outside of everything. So the first thing we're going to do is say, do they have a game? If they don't have a game of craps, create one for them so that we have a game of craps. And then we can say, is their bet a valid position bet? That works okay. And if their position bet doesn't work, then we're going to return this. And then we'll do the valid wager bet. And if they make this, then we can take our else statement for this. We're going to need to tweak that a little bit, but our else statement goes here. We have position again, so let's go look at the wager for roulette. And we just want to add these additional properties. Okay. Additional properties have been added with commas and spacing. Okay, so if it's an invalid position, I'm going to tell you it's an invalid position. If it's an invalid wager, I'm going to tell you it's an invalid wager. And if it's neither, then we're going to do this stuff, which is just creating the wager, basically. So we'll drop this right in here. And we should be good. So I can get rid of all of this. Slap my what are clearly very optional semicolons on the ends of some lines. And let's go. Let's see. Where's craps? Bet 5 on the pass line.
The position you indicated isn't valid. For a list of valid position, you rolled 7. It was a 6 and a 1. You bet 5 on pass line and lost. You lost a total of 5 coins, which brings your total to 2045.
Now will that work?
The position you indicated isn't valid. For a list of valid positions, you can say something like, where can I bet? Where do you want to place your 5 coins?
Why does invalid wager think... let's go check our data. If I look at my game, I have a craps game where the point is 5. If I make the point 0, does that solve our issue? Can I bet on the pass line now?
You wagered 5 coins on pass line.
Okay.
What would you like to do next? You can place
Bet
another
0
bet,
on
or you can
pass.
say, Jeff, there was an error. What should we do now?
I can deal with errors. It tells us we did something wrong. Check wager is not defined. Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't do the thing with the thing. So is valid wager. This should be here, and then this should be here. Okay, that should fix it, but let's go fix this too, because I don't like that this is orphaned out here. Doesn't need to be out there. Okay. Bet 0 on pass. Why do we have no speech? Oh, because I haven't built the speech part yet. Yay! Let's go do that. Start craps intent. we have a start roulette intent. We'll just take these. Copy. Start craps intent. Get rid of this. And then out here, this is almost all the same. How many coins? But this is perfect, actually. I think that'll do it. So now let's try that again. Bet 0 on pass.
Your wager was below your minimum bet of 1. Your balance is 2,045 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How many coins would you like to bet on pass?
That's not going to work. I need that magic I just wrote a moment ago for the bet summary intent. I need this for the start craps intent, and so we can just do this. Is that right? Result dot position. If I think about craps and what I have coming back, I'm already doing it. Okay. But I'm not doing it. Okay, I do need to do that. So in here, this needs to be result dot position. Please type where I want you to type result dot position, and then down. And then if I actually look at the positions for craps, it's result.position.name. But for roulette, I have symbol, don't I? No, oh yeah, I also have a symbol. I don't know why I also have a symbol. That's carryover from slots. Okay, so the start craps intent, we should just be able to say now, we should be able to say whatever we called that. Position name. Dot name. Okay, and let's try it now. What I don't want to see is that capitalized pass, because then when it's like column 3, bet, let's test that. Bet 0 on column 3.
Your wager was below your minimum bet of 1. Your balance is 2,046 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How many coins would you like to bet on call_3?
That's not what I asked for. Oh, that's because this didn't evaluate. Roulette, this should be craps. Okay, let's try that again. Bet 0 on column 3.
Your wager was below your minimum bet of 1. Your balance is 2,047 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How many coins would you like to bet on call_3?
168 billion, Mr. Smoofy. My goodness. I'm going to feel so bad when we reset these balances. Position? That's roulette. Where's the slots position? Or craps position? Craps. Position. Name. I want the name. I want it to say things like, wait a second, it's saying call 3. Because I'm betting on the wrong game. Jeff, bet 0 on pass.
Your wager was below your minimum bet of 1. Your balance is 2,048 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How many coins would you like to bet on pass line?
Okay. We're closer, but I noticed that the roulette doesn't do what I want it to do. So now we need to look at the roulette one again and make sure that it's saying... Probably have to do the same thing. So we come in here, start craps. We have to get this position name. And then for roulette, we just drop it like right here. This needs to be roulette this time. And then out here we can say position name, and this guy. And then I also need to fix that for craps because I didn't do that third case. Okay, so that feels pretty good. So now let's bet 0 on column 3 and see what we get.
Your wager was below your minimum bet of 1. Your balance is 2,049 coins, so you can make bets between 1 and 50. How many coins would you like to bet on column 3?
Column 3, that's what I wanted to say. Okay, that feels good. And we did that in less than 2 hours with some bugs and fighting and thrashing and whatever. Wrote a few more tests, made sure our tests are actually passing. This felt like a productive morning today. I need to go back to my to-do list because we get to put this in here. That's done. I still haven't done this. I don't know if I need to do this, but it's considering... What this is basically doing is saying I want to be able to have one consistent place where I make those calls to get that speech. This is just on the Alexa side of things, but I want to be able to call and say like, "Hey, they got a max bet warning. Go over here and get the speech for that. Don't make me write the code in each of these projects like I'm currently doing now." So in-skill purchasing, let's see, there was minimum bets based on your balance. Done. Oh, I love checking things off list. Okay, another thing that I really wanted to do is there was something I thought of as we were doing this that I was like, oh, I really want to fix that. Let's go back and look at this code. Well, you're certainly on your way, Mr. Smoothie. 198 billion. Bezos couldn't even pay that out. I feel like there was something I really wanted to check, but I don't remember what it is. Hopefully it'll come back to me. Once I start making some money, TeamView, I actually had, not for your balance, obviously, that would be ridiculous, but I had this idea that you could, for big outcomes like a royal flush or 3 diamonds on the slot machine, that there could actually be a prize for that, but that happens after we build this on enough platforms that we're making some money. If we're making money, I don't mind giving money away as prizes, but I certainly don't want to do that beforehand. And I need to talk with many lawyers about the challenge with that. If the users themselves can't spend any money, they can't buy coins, they can't do any of that stuff, and they only can spend coins by using their time, basically, right? Every time they chat, every time they talk to Alexa, every time they talk to any of these bots, they'll earn another coin. If they can use those coins to wager and potentially win real prizes, that doesn't feel like gambling to me. I mean, I'm sure many people would qualify it as gambling, but it's not. You're not gambling your money, so you're not going to go into debt doing this. But there could potentially be some prizes, right? If you hit a royal flush or something, you get a $10 Amazon gift card. I think that would be awesome. It's just prizes, right? And I would have to figure out a way to generate revenue to offset the cost of those prizes, because I don't want to pay for that out of my pocket. But I feel like people would be more likely to try playing this game on a regular basis if there were real prizes involved. So that's something to consider. All right, so we're done for today. We made some really good progress today. So I'm gonna kick this open. Changed a bunch of files. Wager limits are in place. Push all that out. If you guys need any of this, see, that TeamView, that is exactly the thing that I have to avoid. If somebody can give me, if they can give me bits and I turn those into coins, they are now technically buying something in the store, in the casino. And they are putting their own money into the system, whether or not it actually is in the system. They're giving me money, and I am giving them currency in a casino. Then, when they wager and gamble, if they win something, that's gambling. And I have to avoid that. So I don't think there will be any way where you use your money and the result is you get coins in the casino. I don't think it's a problem if you use your time. So if you want to talk to chat or you want to watch the stream, because the stream will earn you coins as you watch, then I don't think I mind that at all. And I have to talk with lawyers to make sure that I'm correct about this. But I feel like I've heard about many games where you can buy coins and you can never cash out, but they do give prizes away for big outcomes. That still feels like gambling, and I've heard of stories about people losing hundreds of thousands of dollars because they're just trying to win those prizes. And that just feels terrible. I don't want to be a part of any of that. So, okay, with that, we're gonna knock it out for today. That is the end. And I will be back here again tomorrow, and we'll pick something else off the list and go. So lots and lots of cool things. I think achievements is something that's interesting, that definitely needs some work. Thank you, Corey, for the help and the advice and the participation. Mr. Smoofy, good to see you. Thank you guys all so much. I love that you guys all tune in, and I will see you again tomorrow morning.